right? Because it's like, how far are we going to take this AI thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're already believing AI stuff on the internet.
Right.
100%.
I saw a picture of
We get tricked on this show every week, bro.
John gets tricked.
Yeah, okay.
But there
Cody
was a
puts it
picture
into
of
AI.
Erica Kirk and Candace Owens,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Conversation.
And I was like, damn, she's going after her. And then I come to find out it's not even real.
Yeah.
And I was like ready to post it and like all that stuff. And there's just no, I mean, Facebook's trying to counteract with doing community notes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just,
After this all came out, because this basically it spread like wildfire.
yeah.
And there was a bunch of pages on my Instagram that were sharing it, this story. Of course, they said North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota. And
Did we only go viral for bullshit?
It's
Yeah.
been like
Yes.
wild, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, a couple days later, then the chief decided to resign.
Yeah.
Was that, you think, in your opinion, had anything to do with it?
So I personally like, okay. Then there's guys that come to my office who legitimately are mentally of the age of 12. They look, I don't want to be mean, but they don't look like us.
right.
You know what I mean? The last time anyone ever paid attention to them was probably a kid. And I'm not justifying it, but I do think it deserves a mention between the difference between a Ray Holmberg and someone who's mentally ill, who probably went through the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Ill Ego Culture Brands Red Tape Talk. I'm your host, John Ostos, a.k.a. Ill Ego CEO, and I'm here with my two counterparts, Dion, 2 Cup Larry, and Cody, Big Meat Malk. And we have a special guest on who's been here before, a good friend of mine, Adam Martin, founder of F5 Project. And today he is speaking on behalf of a situation that has made international news, and we wanted to get in on the discussion and find out some more. So, Adam, first of all, welcome to the show again, brother.
Dude, thanks for having me back. Why do they call you 2 cups?
Just because I always have 2 cups.
Of
Two
something.
drinks of something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out, 2 cups.
You see him at the bar, he's double fisted. You see him in the gym, he's double
Cups.
fisted.
I always have 2 cups of something. I already had the root beer, but I got my
okay.
water, my root beer. It's just,
The real question is to Cody, though, why do they call him Big Meat?
yeah, that's what we're still trying to figure out.
I figured it was all the muscle.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with being, sexual.
Oh, we
at
knew
all.
that.
But you guys instantly go to gay shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No one said anything about that.
Yeah.
I just didn't think your muscles were that big.
no.
That's
I
all.
do not condone anything they just said.
But yeah, so man, again, thanks for being here and speaking on the topic that we want to talk on. The reason why I asked you to come on is because you have some firsthand involvement in kind of the situation that happened with, is it Angie or Angela? Angela Lips. Yeah, Angela Lips. So she, if you haven't seen what's going on with her, you're probably not on social media or anything, but it's all over the place right now. We apparently here in Fargo, North Dakota have a new system that's being used by the police department that does AI recognition,
Before
right?
you get into that, I saw your post in December and I read it and I was like, oh, that's cool, man.
No
like,
one saw this
you're,
coming.
You're helping out, just some random lady get
Yes.
back home. And I was like, wow, that Adam went out of his way to go and do this. And then all of a sudden, like 5 months later, 6 months later,
Yep.
or whatever it is, you made a follow-up post and I was like, I remember that. I remember that story.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it was wild.
So start from the beginning how you got in touch and
Okay. Well, I was, one of those days when you just like, you're on your pity pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why me? Maybe more recently for me, but it was Christmas Eve. And I was sitting at the office when I should be, I have a complicated family. I got, a couple different, baby mamas and stuff, and all the kids were home with their moms. So I was like alone on Christmas Eve. And so I was like at work, pity pot, and then I get a call from Nicole Barkus from Barkus Law. Her and the public defenders were helping out a woman who got released on Christmas Eve. Number one, that was weird to me. I didn't even know we had court on Christmas Eve, and let alone getting released on Christmas Eve, which would be really cool.
Yeah, right.
It would be really cool. That'd be a really cool Christmas present, but not for a woman who was like 1,500 miles away from her home. And so, like, I didn't know anything about the AI stuff right away.
Yep.
I found out that stuff on the way bringing her back. Okay. So me showing up was because, you know, when I get on my like pity pots or I get like just weird, right? I need to do something. I need to like help people to like get out of my head. That's like my thing. You know, it's what's kept me sober for like 12 years is that when all else fails, like emotionally, spiritually, whatever, I help other people. So that's the reason I showed up. I had no idea that it was going to be international news, you know. And so I go, I talked to Jay Greenwood, who is her attorney, and he was very thankful. The public defenders put some money together and gave it to her. I showed up and got her, she had nothing, like nothing. I think maybe the jail gave her a jacket. I'm not
So
sure.
she was in like t-shirt.
I think she
Summer
had a jacket.
clothes.
I mean, this was back in December, so I don't remember, but I do remember that like you know, it's cold and she wouldn't have survived outside, regardless if she had a jacket or not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so she gets in the truck, and we, she was wrong. I did find out that like right before I picked her up, she was wrongfully, you know, arrested. But I didn't know it had anything to do with AI technology. And so that was why I was sympathetic to it, is because like wrongful convictions, wrongful accusations, wrongful, like, you know, I'd rather see 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man have to serve time.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And so anyways, I get her into a hotel, I pay for the room, and then get her some food. I get her a phone at Walmart so she can make some connections. At this time, I still hadn't planned on giving her a ride back to, you know, halfway to Tennessee or whatever. And so I was hoping that she could get something, you know, connected.
Going.
And so the phone, I don't know about prepaid phones or whatever, but they suck. I have the hardest time of getting them activated. And so I gave her one of our marketing phones that we have at the office, and then so she could call. And so she got it set up for someone to pick her up in Chicago, and that was as close as that they could come. And she, you know, and so I was like, I'll give you a ride. And so a couple days later, I think December 26th or something like that, gave her a ride to Chicago. And that's when I found out that AI technology was used in her arrest, and that it identified her as this prime suspect in this North Dakota bank fraud, whatever, right? It had, I mean, there was cryptocurrency stuff involved in this, and there was, you know, check writing, like a bunch of wild, like, scheme on it. And so they plug in all this video and pictures from her social media, and AI pings her. And then they get the arrest warrant from the judge, and they go and have the marshals arrest her in Tennessee while she's babysitting 4 kids, like grandkids or something like that, a dog, you know. And I don't know if this is true or not, but she was arrested at gunpoint by the marshals. Okay.
Jesus.
And then locked up in the Tennessee jail, I think Carver County or something like that, for 4.5 months or something.
Oh my
and then
God.
Fargo police finally got her brought here, and then she
was locked up there as a result of the extradition that they needed to do, right? Like,
from my understanding, yeah.
Okay.
So granted, I'm not the investigator, I'm not the
Sure.
attorney, I don't know all the information. This is the stuff that I've heard from, you know, media and, you know, the gossips among the attorneys and
Sure.
stuff like that. And so my understanding is she was specifically arrested and put in that jail for being identified with the AI technology for bank fraud, and sat there until somebody came and got her, which was 4.5 months later.
But they wouldn't see, like, I think I read that they wouldn't see her case or something like that right away. That's why she had to sit there, because normally, don't you get you
Like
get
a day in court?
and then
Yeah.
they get in front of the judge and then they decide whether or not you get bond or not.
I think that there's questions around the extradition. I think there's questions around other charges,
Okay.
stuff like that. I don't know, but the fact is that she was arrested for this,
Yeah,
right? So even if there is other stuff that held her, like maybe not held her there, the fact that she was even arrested was
Sure.
because of AI technology that
Right.
was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know the full gamut of why she was there, nor has anyone revealed anything, right? And so then she came here, sat here for a month and a half,
Oh my
and
God.
then the police didn't even do the investigation to find out that it wasn't her. It was her public defender who went out and met with her. Finally, she met with her public defender before she met with the police,
Wow.
right?
Like almost 6 months later.
6 months later.
This is crazy.
Yeah. And so the Jay gets some information, like bank information from her, and is able to identify that her debit card or credit card or something like that was used in Tennessee at the same exact time as that she was supposed to be in North Dakota at this bank. And found other evidence showing that she
and it probably took him 10 minutes to do that.
probably took him 10 minutes.
So do we know the person that they were looking for that obviously isn't her, did they have the same name as well as the facial
I don't
recognition?
think they've revealed much about this.
Because I mean, you'd think
Probably
that would be a
because of
dead
this.
ringer, right? Like, how does the facial recognition find someone with the exact same name
Right,
that almost
right.
matches the protocol? That'd be odd. So like that, you would think,
Yeah.
you know, any
Yeah.
cop involved.
I don't know if it had anything to do with names at all,
Yeah,
because
right.
it was all facial recognition.
Mhm.
And that they show the video that they use or that they plugged into it, and it doesn't look like her from
Wow.
what I saw. You know, I could definitely tell. Like, you put side by side, you're like, that's definitely not her. You know, can AI? You know, maybe. I don't know. Like I've heard things of like, you know, like when you use your, you know, your facial to open or whatever. I've heard of like, you know, times where kids are able to pull their parents' iPhone open because they look so similar to each other. You know, like I don't know how similar these two women look like.
Have they caught the person who actually was guilty or no? Or
I've heard that they've made more arrests. I don't know if it's specific to this case, though,
okay.
but it is specific to bank fraud.
Yep.
You know, I'm just, you know, I'm like kind of like the whole Christy Noem's husband right now. How that just like dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm
That was
just
insane.
waiting for some like whistleblower kind of, you know, moment or whatever, because I knew what was going to happen. As soon as I found out all this, I was like, all right, they're going to campaign, you know, that there's other issues or that she has a background or she's a criminal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Typical
they have-
media
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
like they're
Try to
gonna-
muddy the
themselves.
water.
yeah,
Yep.
like they're gonna do a smear
Campaign. Yep.
around, and they did, you know, like it wasn't necessarily in the media, but I was having conversations with multiple, like, you know, they were starting. It was almost like, well,
They had to save face.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, they don't want to apologize. You're never
Yep.
going to hear an apology.
Yep.
You know?
So let's backtrack a little bit. So the time that you get her, or what is it, December 26th, you're driving her back now. You have conversations about her situation. Like, does she tell you some stuff? Can you
yeah.
talk on any of that?
I mean, she basically just, you know, regurgitated everything she's told in the interview, you know, with that she did with Matt. And I think out of everyone who's done reporting on this, Matt did a killer job.
Okay.
He did a great job. He, you know, like it was it wasn't like one of those things where like it's in the paper and they interview you for an hour and then use one
Summarize
sentence.
it or
You know
something.
what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he did his research. He met with Jay. He met with Angela. He talked to you know what I mean? So he did a great job.
So for those who maybe aren't that familiar with his reporting on it, can you tell a little bit more about like some of the conversation you had with her around what happened?
So she told me, she was just like, I've been in jail because of AI technology pointed the finger at me. I've never even been to North Dakota.
Wow.
And I was like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And then she's like, I've never even when I came to North Dakota on this arrest or whatever, it was the first time I was ever on a plane. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And so,
And then they had her shackled through the airport and on the plane.
That's so messed up.
yeah, it's crazy.
She's gonna get
And
rich.
she's like a I don't know her exact age, but I feel like she's like 63. She's a grandma, you know, and it's just wild to me.
To spend that much time away from your family too on something like that is just nuts.
She lost. I mean, I'm in reentry work. This is what I do for a living, and it doesn't take long. I mean,
Right.
imagine not being able to make money for 30 days.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a good chance if you don't have savings, you don't have family, you don't have an inheritance, you don't have like generational wealth, you know what I mean, that you can rely on, you're done.
Yep.
Like you're homeless,
100%.
you know, and she did 6.5 months. I mean, she lost everything just to find out she didn't do what they said that she did.
So she didn't have like family and stuff back home necessarily, or
I
did she divulge?
She's got a kid, maybe 2 kids or something like that. I don't know how much connection they have or whatever. I think she lives with her boyfriend now. The guy that came and picked her up in Chicago or whatever. But it's like, listen, here's the thing for me. If this would have happened to somebody with money, they wouldn't have spent a day in jail.
Sure.
Maybe a couple hours until they could bail out. You know what I mean? And this is my biggest problem with when we talk about innocent until proven guilty, right? You're innocent until proven guilty means that you're innocent until you're proven guilty to go to prison. But prior to that, you could spend all your time in jail. Mm-hmm. You could have mugshots. You could have ill media about you. You know what I mean? And there's nothing you can do about it, like unless you have money.
Yeah.
Right. This is why you see like vicious, predatory sex offenders who have money not have to sit in jail the entire time they're going through court, and then somebody who
sold weed,
trespass because they're homeless and they have no means, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Get arrested and get a $500 bail, and they can't bail out, so they sit in jail for 3 weeks waiting to go to court, just to go to court and be let out, and for something that they're not even going to go to prison for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild.
But
don't get me started on that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you though. I get it, man. I've been in that shit, you know? Yep. So I totally relate and understand. The situation of her sitting in jail, so she knows, or did she tell you at least that, she knew what she was in there for the entire time, or did she like kind of find out? Right.
She just didn't understand.
Yeah. So did she try to like let people know this isn't me? This is like, did she reach out to people? Did she talk to like, jail, workers, anything like that? I mean, what was like the response that she said she was getting?
About, like, because people were saying, why didn't you just say anything? Obviously, you've never been to fucking jail.
Right,
They don't care.
They don't care.
Right. Everyone's innocent.
You have a mandate to be there. It doesn't matter what you say. Nobody, unless you find a sympathetic jailer who's willing on their free time to call a public defender. You know what I mean? But public defenders are overworked and underpaid.
Yeah.
They get thousands of phone calls every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thousands. I mean, I just can't imagine. Like, there's just in Cass County Jail, there's over I think somewhere between 280 and 320 people in there, right? On an average for 3 weeks, right?
Wow.
That are all trying to call their attorney. And then you get this grandma who's like trying to tell this story about, I think something about AI. She probably didn't even fully understand why she was there. Yeah. She just knows that she's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you of all the times that I've ever went and did prison work or jail work, there's, at least 6 guys that come up to me and say, I'm not supposed to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the jail hears that all the time too.
All the time.
Yeah. So I could see how that could go over their heads.
Oh, I mean, they're not worried about that. They're worried about going home at the end of the day. That's all they're thinking about.
And when you get a woman to come on and be like, "Hey, I'm innocent. I'm not supposed to be in here. That's not me."
Sure.
They're like, "Yeah, lady,
Okay.
you and everyone else in there, you know." And then here's your lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
That's how it works, bro. For real.
Yeah, it happened to me one other time where it literally blew my mind. It was Cassandra Black Elk, and she was in the North Dakota Women's Prison, right? And I serve on the board of the Great North Innocence Project, right? They find and search people who've been wrongfully convicted, find new evidence, do the appeals, and try and get them released or exonerated or whatever. Since I've been on the board in the last 6 years, we found 6, 7, 8 guys or people and gotten them released. Average stay 20 years.
Oh,
right? It's amazing work that they're doing. So they want to do more in North Dakota. And so they hit me up and they're like, we're going to go do this presentation at the prisons. Would you mind coming with us and kind of introduce us and stuff? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love it. We go to the women's prison. This Native American woman comes up to me. She's looking at the ground and she's like, I'm not supposed to be here. But not in a way that's like she's like a kicked dog. Like she's given up.
Yeah. She's defeated. Yeah.
And she had been there for, I think, maybe 18 months, or I'm not exactly sure. And I was like, well, tell me about it. And she's like, the autopsy report came out after I was in prison, and it showed that it wasn't me. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, the autopsy report. So she was convicted for child neglect or something like that on her baby, who they believe she killed.
That'd be crazy.
Wow.
That'd be tough.
Right?
That's defeating for
Smothered her or
sure.
something
Yeah.
like that. And the autopsy report came out after she was convicted and showed that the baby died of SIDS.
oh,
And I was like, that's the fact that even if whatever, the fact that they made a decision before the autopsy
Yeah. That's
was
wild.
enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even if she did it, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't do that.
Right.
That's critical evidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
And so I told them about it, and they got her released.
Oh, wow.
And they on insufficient public defense because her public defender told her to plead guilty
Yeah.
before it was even released. And then they found out that none of it was true, and she was released.
Just goes to show sometimes they're not there for your best interest.
It's again, overworked, underpaid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we've
they
talked
finish
about it
his
on this
cases
show
up.
too. It's not always just that. In some cases, it's no one wants a loss on their record either, and so they're always willing to negotiate and
Yeah.
plea and do all that shit too. So there's that mixed in with it. There's a lot of do-gooders that are there for sure, but there's a lot of I don't want to take a L and I don't want to take a L. So what's the middle ground?
Yeah.
Fuck the victim or fuck the person that's sitting here in jail right now. We don't care about them. How can we save our record? Because I want to run for judge someday. You know what I mean? You see a lot. I saw that shit in Clay County alone, man. So it's wicked out
There's
there.
3. I mean, the Cassandra Black Elk, the Will Kunkel out in Devil's Lake, who is in prison. He's been in prison for 30 years or something like that. And then they found evidence that he in fact there's no way he could have committed murder because he was in jail when it happened, or he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
When it happened.
So it's just lack of investigative,
Dude,
research and shit before they convict people.
I mean, it's that or cover-ups.
Yeah, that too, I
Or,
suppose.
The problem with investigations is a lot of times what I see is people go into the investigation already believing something.
Mm.
Right.
And so you look for evidence that proves your, it's like religious debate,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to prove we both think we're right. And so I'm only going to see the evidence the way I want to see it. You know what I mean? There's no
Presupposition.
objective- Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird right now because there's 3 technically wrongfully accused, wrongfully convicted people that are in the public right now, all in North Dakota.
Ouch.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yes, something's got to give there.
Yeah, this AI one's really a big deal though because
That one disturbs me.
yeah, I mean,
that one disturbs me.
you this is far beyond comprehension. How such a new technology gets to have so much of a say-so and certainty that no other human decided to check the facts, look into it. None of that. They just kind of said, yeah, she's there.
Let it ride.
Yeah, like,
let's
wow.
let it ride.
Yeah.
And dude, there's already been like several movies about this. One movie came out like 20 years ago. It's called Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And it's basically they have technology that can find people that commit crimes before they commit them.
Oh, yeah.
And then they arrest them or kill them or whatever. And then there's other one that just came out. Mercy. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So it's about if this judge is like an AI judge, and you yourself have to be able to prove that you're innocent before the time is up. Otherwise, you get, executed.
It's crazy,
Dang.
right? Because it's like, how far are we going to take this AI thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're already believing AI stuff on the internet.
Right.
100%.
I saw a picture of
We get tricked on this show every week, bro.
John gets tricked.
Yeah, okay.
but there
Cody
was a
puts it
picture
into
of
AI.
Erica Kirk and Candace Owens
Yeah.
or something like that.
Conversation.
And I was like, damn, she's going after her.
Mhm.
And then I come to find out it's not even real.
Yeah.
And I was like ready to post it and like all that stuff. And there's just no, I mean, Facebook's trying to counteract with doing community notes. And,
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yep.
just,
But you can't even trust that.
no.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
we all saw that during COVID times
COVID,
where all the community notes and the fact checkers were all
The
bought and
election.
paid for, bro. The election. So, I mean, it's like, but I feel like it's intentional.
For sure.
And not to get too far away from our story, but I just feel like they want the confusion. They want the chaos of uncertainty. AI was given to us so fast and so openly before it was ready, for the simple fact that we just won't know.
Yeah.
We
There's
just wanna-
definitely a dark side to AI.
Oh,
100%.
for
My
sure.
son and I, Rooch, got into an argument about this because he hates AI.
Yeah.
He thinks it's the worst. I'm like, yeah, I think it's great. And he's like, why? I was like, it evens the competition ground, right? Where someone, who has all the means and money to like go to school and whatever. I mean, YouTube is a prime example. It's not AI, exactly or whatever, but it leveled the ground for learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you use it correctly, right? I've learned so much about property management and investment and it, again, I take it with a grain of salt and I back check, I fact check some of the things that it tells me, but like it leveled me up. Very knowledgeable because I use it to investigate, not just find something.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'll Google after that. I'll ask my partners about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I learned. Is it true?
Yeah.
But what people are doing with it today is they're just asking it a question, what's the search and seizure conduct rules for, North Dakota or something like that. And then it probably doesn't necessarily know all the information on it and pulls something from California
Mm-hmm.
and then says it's North Dakota.
Yep.
Or another guy told me he asked questions about Christianity and he said it came back talking crap about Christianity. And then he had to specifically tell his AI to not do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very adolescent still.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, we got to be very careful. And the fact that North Dakota just ran with that AI, which they clearly state was new technology that they were using.
They say,
Where's the protocol? Where's the systems? Where's all that stuff behind it? They just said, "Oh no, this is legit," and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So that was a really bad move.
So after this all came out, because this basically it spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of pages on my Instagram that were sharing this story. Of course, they said North Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota. And
Did we only go viral for bullshit?
It's
Yeah.
been like
Yes.
wild, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, a couple days later, then the chief decided to resign.
Yeah.
Was that you think, in your opinion, had anything to do with it?
I personally like the chief.
You might be one of the few because
I
I've
am
heard
one
some
of the
horror
few.
stories.
I've noticed it. I was like, wow, I didn't realize I was like in the minority with this. I'll tell you why. I've enjoyed him because one, he takes the time to meet with me. Two, he's very, very pro mental health and addiction. You know what I mean? So And he just seemed like a genuine guy. I never felt like I was being sold on anything. He was like always honest with me and stuff. Do I think it's very coincidental. It's very
oddly coincidental. Yeah.
It's odd. Right. I try to place myself in his shoes.
It was kind of like a third strike for him too, if you think about the stuff that's happened recently downtown and shit
with
too.
The cops and
and I know Turnberg and Pepcorn aren't big fans of his, and I know Mahoney was always backing him up, and I think the other two commissioners, they never really talked much about him, so. He even said when he started 5 years ago that he was only going to be here for 5 years. So I don't think he was forced to resign. I think maybe he's just done. You know what I mean? You can only take so much.
Yeah.
Like Fargo is a terrible place to be a public figure. It's so small that like when you see people who comment, I mean, I've been a victim of it. Right. I mean, the Fargos went wild on me before on stuff. And I mean, I would say 95% of it is just opinions and not true. You know what I mean? And so I think.
But what do we need facts for?
Yeah. And then you got to run into them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they act like nothing happened.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so there's just a very toxic relationship between community, media, and the truth.
I see that.
And I think he was just done. I mean, every time someone rises to some kind of level in our community just tears them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, according to him, he said that they checked all the boxes regarding this specific case, which to me, it seems like they didn't do that.
Well, they might have. We just don't know what the boxes are.
Yeah. Right.
The different processes.
Wait, what was missing from the boxes that should have been there is what we need to see, because you might have checked all the boxes.
I've been waiting for something more to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that like shows why it happened the way that it happened, and still nothing has came up. They
probably don't got nothing. They told the accountant, start counting our money, see what we got for a lawsuit.
Yeah. I've been waiting, for something like she actually has been in North Dakota.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like some kind of smoking gun. Something that just gives a reasonable doubt. Even if she had been to North Dakota, but it still had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
The fact that she said that she hadn't, then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe they found her that she was on a plane when she was 9 or something, something, but nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing that's came out that's showing that any kind of reasonable doubt. And so
at least that's gone public that we know.
That right there is concerning, because they put 100. If that's true, then they put 100% faith in the AI technology.
Yeah.
To classify her.
That's what I would.
Nobody
like to know.
did their
Was
due
there
diligence.
anything else?
Right.
Like how did the judge sign?
And I
off?
think we are owed an answer on that.
We are. I mean, she's owed an answer
For sure.
and an apology
For sure.
and some money.
But for us to be
That's real. Like you said, her life was destroyed.
Definitely. 6 months of no work.
She lost her place of living, car, jobs, whatever she had going for her after the first 30 days, like you said, probably.
And on a moment's notice, like you don't know you're about to get caught up in something
you're
like
done.
that. Like
that's a light switch
no
moment.
preparing for it.
No, she's got mental distress. I mean, you name it, bro. The stuff that she can come after them for now, it's not just for like wrongful, incrimination or anything like that. Like she's got a list of things that she can put down for a lawsuit that will just eat them alive.
Yeah. I think the thing too here is that like I think that from a re-entry standpoint, from like my standpoint, is it's really spotlighted the system.
Yeah.
We're talking about this because she's innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is happening everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the barriers that exist to people when they try to get out of prison, or they, for instance, I've been in the court system and they'll stack charges, right? Meaning that like there's probably charges that I'm being charged with that I shouldn't be charged with, but they use it as a token of negotiation when we go to plea hearings.
100%.
You plead guilty today. Do you want to go home or you want to go to jail?
Boom.
Yep.
And I'll be like, well, what does that mean? If you plead guilty today, you can go home. That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
That if I don't plead guilty, I'm going to stay in jail. But if I plead guilty today, they'll let me go home.
Yeah. That's usually why they hold you long enough to burn you out before they give you a public defender.
Mhm.
Then 30 days later, that public defender shows up and it's like, oh, I could get you out of here.
Yeah.
And you're like, let's do it.
Yep. Plead guilty. I can't tell you how many times I pled guilty. I'm not saying that like I didn't do it or or whatever.
Yeah.
But the negotiation tactic of saying if you
Dirty.
plead guilty today, we'll let you go home.
Yeah.
Everyone
wants to win. That's what I
Nobody
say.
cares about the truth on
Yep.
that. They just care about their win.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yep.
That's horrible, man. I can't believe that she sat that long and didn't fight so hard to like get someone to hear her though. Like that's pure devastation, and she just sat there like
I know.
defeated. You know what I mean? Like that's unbelievable.
Dude, when I was in jail waiting to go to court and stuff, the longest days for me were the days when I didn't know how long I was going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, whether I was going to get like convicted and sentenced, whether I served a month or 6 months or whatever, now I know. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to serve time when you know what your exit date is.
Yeah.
Yes.
For her, not only did she not know what her exit date was, she didn't know what her exit date for something she didn't even do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so those days are long and defeating and like whatever. The day I found out that I was just going to serve 6 months, I was happy. I was like, now I know.
Right.
Now I can plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When day one
There's
starts.
hope. Hope is coming in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to see my kids again. And for her, multiple felonies, bank fraud, who knows what else, she never knew when she was going to get out.
Yeah. She didn't know if she was gonna at all.
Yeah.
As far as she was concerned, these charges probably made her think the worst.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't do any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
Do you know if she was if she picked up by a big shot lawyer down in Tennessee to help with the?
She got a couple guys. She got a guy here, Dane. He used to be the attorney for the ACLU in North Dakota, and now he does his own thing. And then some kind of big shot guy out of Minneapolis is representing it because everything's handled in Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
So Tennessee has nothing to do with it.
Okay, more local.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does she have to come back then, obviously, for court, or no?
No, she's done. So if they file a lawsuit, because I still haven't heard if a lawsuit's been filed. But if she files the lawsuit, she shouldn't have to. Like her attorney can handle.
That's awesome.
I'm assuming that they're building the case right now.
Oh, for sure. They file that lawsuit. Nobody wants to see. There's not a single person that works at the city is going to want to see this ever seen in court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want any public.
They'll settle.
Which
settle.
essentially comes out of our bill, but
Yeah.
deservingly so.
And they started a GoFundMe for her, and it's got up to like $60,000.
That's awesome.
So she's got.
That's
I don't know if she's gotten
decent.
the money yet or whatever.
That's
but
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cash to
even
live
if
off of.
no lawsuits filed, she deserves way more than that,
Yeah,
in
yes.
my opinion. Just for like the turmoil and the trauma of being locked up alone.
But 60K
Let
is not a
alone-
lot of money.
Not
Yeah.
for
Not
6
at
months
all.
of
Six
not
and a
being
half
able
months
to do
of
anything,
fucking-
and
Like
Jail.
you need to start your life over
Yeah,
money.
you
See,
lost
that's
all
not
your
60K,
stuff,
bro.
I'm
Yeah.
good on 60K for that.
If I was in her shoes, I just hope that like when they do this lawsuit and they do settle that, we know what a lot of money is, right? So she doesn't come from a place of a lot of money, and I just hope that her lawyers
Gonna do her right.
do her right.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Which
to think.
they get a percentage,
Yeah.
so they'll go big.
Yeah.
They'll go big.
Yeah.
And they'll get it too.
Yeah.
They'll definitely
Yeah,
get
there's
it.
they don't have much fight here
No.
in their defense to be like, look, no, what they're gonna try to do is settle out of court.
How much do you need though? Like how much?
Bro, I'm talking 9 figures on something like this. Easy.
That's crazy. I was way too
I was gonna
low.
say,
It's not a matter of
Way too
it's not
low.
a matter
It's
of
gotta be a
need.
lot to make a statement.
Probably.
Yeah, it's not a matter of need, bro. You need to do it so big that everyone learns their fucking
I was
lesson.
like 500,000. I
They
need to take
do
home.
it so big that they go to the city and say, we got to do a 0.5-cent tax raise.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's
Because
gotta
this
be
is gonna
bad.
Hit us hard.
100%.
They would never. I hope they don't do that, but it's got to make a statement because there's other people that have been arrested for this.
Yeah.
Throughout the nation, and
It's got to make those other cities and states that have stuff like this, that the potential is out there. It's got to make them go, yo, we better go back and double check all our shit just in case something's out there like that. Because, yeah,
that's good. Need to create legislation.
Yeah,
like there's so much change. That needs to come with this.
Yeah, this is like, it's freaky bad.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that somebody's broaching that topic with the legislators.
I'm
Maybe
sure
that's something that you need to do, Adam.
Have you reached out to Kim Kardashian at all?
No.
This is her line of work, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, she does. She studied law to do this, and she gets people that were wrongfully convicted out of prison.
I have heard that. Yeah.
She just started.
You should reach out, bro.
She does do it.
Does she?
Yeah, she does it successfully too, from what I hear.
You should send this podcast.
She's got pull, man.
And then she'll be like, "Oh, that Adam Martin."
She might. We should send it to
I'm
her
going to send a picture
fun.
of you and be like, what do you think? Will you help us?
This guy, he's getting wrongfully convicted people out of prison. You should talk to him. That'd be...
You'd have to be on their show, though, obviously.
Yeah. We'd have better luck sending a picture of Dion for her, though.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I'm good for it. I'll be on the show.
Yeah. Take one for the team.
Yeah. I think I can handle that.
Yeah. So when you first got the call to when she got out of jail for those couple of days, did F5 put her up then, or did you just get her like a hotel or something?
It was a combination between the public defenders and us. And
nice.
Like I used our company card. And I think the public defenders gave her some money to buy food and stuff like that. But I don't know how much they gave her. But we paid for the hotel, let her use our phones. And then she didn't have to pay for anything to get back.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome, you guys.
Yeah, it was I was just sitting in the office. I was the only one there because everyone was off for Christmas Eve, and I was like, I got shit to do. And I'd rather be doing this than sitting at a fucking bar on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's my what gets me activated is like, if I don't do this, I'm going to end up at the bar.
When you got to think of like where this could potentially lead, like you said, if this potentially leads to legislation being passed, then all of this was meant to be, and it was a good thing.
I think we need more information.
Yeah.
To find out like how this happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So that we can figure out what that legislation looks like. Because if they arrested her just solely on that, then the legislation needs to be, it can't just be solely on that.
You need a human involved.
You need more evidence than just facial recognition.
Yeah, this could be huge for the use of AI technology in real world scenarios like this, because this could set the precedence for how we have to create systems around the way AI gets to be used too, because like you said, everyone's just running with AI right now. Everyone's like, boom, look, it's got all the answers. It knows everything, and they're running with it. We need to create some type of system that governs the use of AI still, where there's still human involvement in there, because right now it's looking like we're just going to throw everything into the system and let the system run it all.
It's a slippery
This
slope.
might be one of those few things that's so big and so important that it maybe triggers the need in government, in politics and stuff, that we have to put more safeguards around the use of AI in stuff like this,
Well, I think the question for me would be, what did you have to get before AI as evidence to get the warrant?
Right.
Why wasn't that criteria for this?
Right. Yeah, and legally,
the AI trump all that.
Right.
How does the judge sign off on that?
We will never probably know.
Or I think we'll find out. I think it's going to come. Yeah.
And judges aren't prone to revealing why they sign warrants, all we can find out is what was given, I think. I think maybe it's...
So what warranted the warrant, though? You know what I mean? Like, what was the probable cause? What was the evidence? All that stuff that they had that the judge was like, yeah. Because that, you hear all the time that, judges wouldn't issue the warrant because they didn't have enough.
Yeah.
So what was enough in this case of AI, besides just AI's facial recognition work, that said, yeah, this deserves a warrant? And or was everyone geeked to be the one to say, AI did this, I want to be a part of it? Yeah. Yes.
And
you know what I mean?
Is it that West Fargo Police Department had the same information but opted out?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the thing that gets me. is that West Fargo decided not to pursue her, and then Fargo did. Why? And no one's really given a full answer about that.
We might have to get a couple more people on the show.
Yeah. Like I personally enjoy the chief. There's a lot of things being thrown out there about him. So be it. And I don't think because the chief said, I didn't really know anything about this. Like this happened in the department. And then they came out later with some emails where the chief knew about it. Or the police knew about it, not necessarily the chief, because the police. He said that they didn't know she was in jail, and then Jesse, the sheriff, came and showed the email saying, "We notified you guys."
Oh shit!
Right, and so it came, and I think it was like interagency drama. Oh, because they were the chief threw the courts under the bus. He threw the marshals under the bus. He threw West Fargo under the bus. He threw the jail under or the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
And then they all clapped back and was just like, no, you knew.
And they brought receipts.
Right. And then, they were like, is it possible that the chief didn't know? Yeah. I think the chief's taking a lot of heat for this. I think it's, people who work for him made decisions. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's things that have happened in my organization. I got, 50 plus people that work for me. I don't know everything, right? I found out today that we don't house people who have arson charges. I didn't know that until today. It's been something we've been doing for 9 years.
Why is that? Out of curiosity.
I think it's an insurance thing.
Okay.
I think for us to have good insurance and coverage and affordable or whatever,
no pyros.
There's no pyros.
I was gonna say that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It's the same with I think the same with normal property management companies and stuff. That's the one absolute arson. But what I'm saying is I didn't know that was a policy until today when I was meeting with the city and we were trying to figure out this property tax exemption. They're like, is there anybody that you deny? I was like, no. And then I go back to my team and they're like, yes.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, who do we deny? And we deny people that have current open cases,
Makes sense.
Warrants.
Yeah.
They have warrants for their arrest. We won't house them. They have to go take care of their stuff first.
Yeah, that's logical.
We don't house people who have arson charges. And then the one that kind of I think is debatable that I think we need to have a discussion about maybe is people who have repetitive domestic violence, right? And that's a safety concern, for the people in the houses, because obviously this guy is, whoever that person is creating that toxic environment at home.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we don't know if we can trust them around people, So, and plus we have women and staff and stuff. Yeah. So it makes sense. And maybe it's not as now that I'm talking about it, it's not as debatable as I think it is, but I didn't know any of this. And so these are policies that were created and decisions made without me. So I totally think it's 100% true that the chief didn't know anything about it.
It's potential.
Yeah.
But he then spoke out of turn, or was just trying to stand up for his people, his team,
I mean, I might catch some flack for this. I think there's a code of blue silence.
Yeah. Well, that's real,
I mean?
For sure.
It's like that I mean, rarely do you want to throw the people around you under the bus.
Exactly.
Especially when it's media getting involved and making up narratives and opinions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and cops and media don't vibe.
What the chief should have done when this popped off is said, it's under investigation. When I know more information, I'll get back to you. Right? But he didn't say anything. And then that, you know what I mean? And so I know what that's like. That's why I'm like, hey, listen, in time.
Yeah.
We'll say something. So that's what he should have done. And instead I don't think that our chief, I mean, he's retired now or whatever. He doesn't have the great media relations. You know what I mean?
That's what they got him for with the downtown stuff. They were like, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, he's not the best with media.
Right.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah, he said, some people need a break. So he said, tough.
He's not a politician.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, he made mistakes. And so he's retired. He's gone. So
I wanted to clarify something. So she got locked up in Tennessee for 3 to 4 months, you said? First.
Yep.
So during that time, nobody came to her and talked to her?
Nope.
Because obviously they're not related to the case.
So the argument, I believe, is that they didn't know that she was locked up.
What?
But I was like, it was on their warrant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the marshals didn't tell you? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
remind me again, too, how did the fake facial recognition thing trigger to begin with?
well, they linked the facial recognition to her name, and then found her on social media, and then had her arrested.
So this thing was just running randomly, doing facial recognition, and then made a connection with her? Or did she did she get like a parking ticket or end up in the system in some way that they were scanning things that it pulled
All of
up?
the above. So they
Okay.
had, from my understanding, they had, it pinged her. They had pictures from her driver's license or something like that. And then they found her on social media and plugged that in too.
And then compared it to a video.
And then it confirmed it again.
Compared it to a video that the AI pinged her on.
Okay.
Oof.
In the video, I mean, it was a white woman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Usually that only happens with Dion's people, but
So it was a white woman just walking into a bank.
A bank.
Yeah.
she committed a crime, but it just wasn't this
the
woman.
The woman on the video committed the crime.
Right.
Yeah.
For
It's
sure.
just not the same woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's there's so many
That's
gaps
movie
here.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's like,
It's also scary to think that this is what our future is going to look like in the future. We already see, I always think about stuff like, if we're so good at technology and hacking is such an, pastime now for what we do today, that there's probably so many people who are locked up right now who have just been accused of child pornography and things of that nature that was just planted on their shit because someone needed to get them.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That shit happens.
So now imagine fast forward to the new type of way they can do that manipulation with AI and all these things. If we really rely on technology, man, all you got to do is piss the wrong person off.
dude, this stuff was happening before AI.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's just like, like you used to, we've seen memes. People create memes and stuff. And now it's so easy to just plug in information and create memes in AI that everybody's doing it now.
Right.
And videos too.
I just heard a story. This has nothing to do with technology. It just has to do with the system.
Right.
And I heard a story the other day about a guy he met a woman in North Dakota. Okay. The woman starts conversating with him on the internet. So I guess it is technology. At the time, this guy was 15. This woman was in her 50s.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He turns 18. They get married.
No way.
He moves to North Dakota with her to be with her. Woman gets caught with child porn.
Oh.
Tells her man that there's
Watch your
no
mic.
way that she can go to prison because she'll go for life. You need to take the rap for this. Guy is autistic.
Oh.
Takes the blame for it.
I think I've heard this one.
Yep. And now he is getting ready to get out of prison. And so that's why I'm hearing about it.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I'm not.
So we know this factually that he just took the rap. It's not really him. Or is
Can
that
we
just
prove it?
that's the
I mean,
narrative? Okay.
Listen, I've been in the prison long enough where I hear stories where they always try to minimize, you know what I mean? Especially registered offenders, sex offenders and stuff like that. They're really hard. Listen, we help everyone who comes to F5. Yeah. Okay. I'll never blanket the fact or hide the fact that we help people who have to register. Okay. In my opinion, I don't get an opinion of who I can and can't help. Right. I think my responsibility to the community is to keep it safe. And I do that by helping people. Okay. There's a difference in my opinion. I know this literally has nothing to do with Angela. There's a difference between sex offenders. There's predatory.
Oh yeah.
And there's mentally ill. Okay. Ray Holmberg is a predator. He was a man of means, wealth, and he destroyed children. Okay. Then there's guys that come to my office who legitimately are mentally of the age of 12. They look, I don't want to be mean, but they don't look like us.
Right.
You know what I mean? The last time anyone ever paid attention to him was probably a kid. And I'm not justifying it, but I do think it deserves a mention between the difference between a Ray Holmberg and someone who's mentally ill, who probably went through the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would not let that person around my daughter, you know what I mean, or my kids. But I do think that he's, worth the chance at rehabilitation and medication and the ability to try and live a normal life.
Do you think, and this raises a lot of questions for me because I'm really big on this stuff, and I see this all the time. I see like predator catchers videos and all that stuff, and you see a lot of guys who are like, you can tell they're mentally handicapped. Correct, but they also very consciously take effort to do these things, sneak to do it. They know that they're doing wrong, stuff like that. Like, it's hard to find that fine line, I think, between like, okay, you're just not mentally capable to understand what you're doing versus you clearly knew what you were doing was wrong type stuff. I
don't think that the general public needs to get there. I don't think that they need to get to a point where they're okay with it.
Right.
Or even like this conversation we're having where I'm saying that there's a difference. I don't think the community needs to have the belief that there's a difference.
Sure.
I think that there's a place and a time and a people that need to respond to this. And I think my people are the first responders to try and help create a safe community.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that this is a thing that we need to go out and preach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're not going to protest this or nothing. Yeah.
Like the
Some
community
do.
is not showing up to help them anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything, they're just doing the negative comments and sharing pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I see them and I meet them and I'm like, this guy like literally thinks he's 6 years old. You know what I mean? And again, it's not a justification, and it's not an excuse, but it is a narrative that I think that it needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Right. Go after the Ray Holmbergs. Go after
all of them.
Go after Epstein.
But facilitate them differently.
Like those people are predators.
Yeah.
And you can go after these guys too, but just know that there's a huge difference between mental health and narcissistic, predatory, abusive, toxic masculinity abuse.
Yeah, I agree.
It is what it is, but how to formulate this question? Do you guys take in reoffenders, and how many times can you do the same thing until you're just like, nah, you can't be here? Or do you guys make that call?
Have you ever like put your mind to something that you wanted to accomplish and you failed multiple times?
100%.
I mean, how many times do you try?
Until you give up.
Until you get it.
Yeah, right? Has it usually.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like, I think sometimes when it comes to recovery or reentry, we lose the mindset of like people deserve the opportunity to change. Like when I started a business, people like, and I like failed, and then I started another business and I failed. Like people see me as the founder of F5 and they're like, man, you're successful. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, there's a whole journey there that you don't know about. Right. I think the same thing with addiction and criminal behavior and stuff like that. I think that we just keep trying until it works.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Obviously there's exceptions, rape, murder, like there's different layers of criminal activity, child molestation, sex offenders and stuff like that. I'm never going to go to a sex offender and be like, just keep trying to be around kids until you stop. You know what I mean? Like there's difference, like how about, we try something different, so, addiction is the same way. So I think everybody has the ability to change. Will they make it to the day where they actually change? I don't know. Yeah. But we just keep trying until it works.
Fair enough.
I think God would want it that way. God didn't give up on us.
That's the biggest thing I see with religion, and I'm like, God, I don't feel as though I'm on that level yet, but I feel like one day I can get there.
I don't think we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, some people. I think God chooses people to be.
Hmm.
You know, he equips the broken. You know, I mean, look at Apostle Paul. You know, and all the disciples, they were broken, wretched people. You know, one of them was a tax collector.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, they didn't do any of that work before, and then he chose them, and then they completely pivoted and changed their lives. And I don't have any, you know, I can't give you any reason why I do what I do today other than I was chosen to do it, because there's just never in a million years would I ever thought that I would be in the shoes that I'm in today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? John knew me before I did the work today. I was a wretched alcoholic who was constantly had mugshots posted all the time. And then one day it just changed. And I can't tell you that I saw like a white light or God talk to me, but I had heard the story of Jesus so many times that, like, you know, that it was just always on my heart, you know. And one day it just changed. Yeah. And now I get to, you know, hang out with people who are wrongfully convicted through AI technology. And, you know, it's a wild life. So, you know, and imagine, like, I always think to myself, like, what if the next time works?
Yeah.
And I don't do it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That can be toxic too. Like in relationships.
I get it.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like, what if I send her one more text? She'll start talking to me.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
This is the
places
one.
and
This is the
times for
one.
it,
Yeah.
You know, but I think when it comes to changing lives, like, we just keep showing up until it works, and then even after it works, we just include them into the community. I've seen too many people like get successful and die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they graduate drug court and then they overdose. You know, they
Yeah.
move out of F5 and they start hanging with the old crew.
Yeah.
You know, I think we need, you know, I mean, we've helped over probably 40,000 people in the last 10 years, and suicide and overdose rates are higher than they've ever been. You know what I mean? I had a guy who graduated from F5, he graduated treatment, he graduated drug court, he got his kid back, he got his own apartment, and 2 weeks later, I'm going to his funeral tomorrow.
You just posted about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, it's
saw
wild,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Like, you just never know. You never know when the light switch moment's going to happen.
Right.
Whether you're being arrested or you're going to die or you're going to get sober or you're going to get saved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just keep showing up and just live the life.
Yeah.
And rehabilitation and sobriety don't have an end date. It's a forever thing.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not, like, people would be like, you know, what's your recovery rate? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why does that even, what I care about is that they're treated like human beings and they have the opportunity to change. I'll put my numbers up against anybody. You'll never hear me talk about them, you know, because I don't think those are important. What's important, the thing that brings me joy in my work is watching dads get their daughters. You know what I mean? Let's do the numbers on that.
Right.
And I'll tell you, it's shitty because dads don't get a fair shot in the system.
For sure. Especially North Dakota.
Facts.
Yeah, man. Like, it's
Minnesota too. They have a statute where they automatically give custody rights to the mother just because.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I gotta be careful, you know, because it's like on how I talk about some of that, because most of our supporters are women, you know what I mean? But I think
that's true.
It's
because they like the bad boys, or because
I think because most of the bad boys are locked up.
Yeah.
They're probably related to them. So, but yeah, maybe there's some bad boys gone good appeal to it or whatever. I just want to see fairness. I want to see, you know, people get the opportunity to change. I want to see more grace. I want to see less negativity.
Yeah.
And it just seems like the world is getting shittier and shittier, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was probably key. We'll end on this. I think it was probably key that you got to be the person that Angela came face to face with after she got out, and
me.
that you were the one that drove her, cross states to get her back to her destination. That's probably speaks volumes to the work that you do and the fact that you were alone at that point in time, because, only having to imagine what she was dealing with for the last 6.5 months prior to that, I think it's so ideal that she came face to face with you first, man.
Yeah,
So
I think it's the work. I mean, I made a name for myself for the type of work that I do, so
Yeah.
people knew who to call,
right,
But it's bigger than that.
absolutely
Like, what if someone else picked her up and she died?
true.
You know what I mean? And I was the first call, and the second call, ruined it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? This is why I don't, I mean, there's multiple reasons, but this is why I don't I made the sacrifices. I'm emotional thinking about it. I don't have a family because I show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. I'll disappear for a whole day to take someone to Chicago. You know what I mean? And now I'm in a situation. I have some really great baby mamas. They're amazing. And they know the work that I do is important. But they deserve a good husband. One who's home. You know what I mean? And so it was a decision I had to make a long time ago. Is I'm either going to have to sacrifice to build something great, or I'm going to have to just be that 9-to-5 guy, and I'm just not built that way. And so luckily I got baby mamas who go above and beyond to make sure I get time with my kids. My son comes over every weekend. My daughter comes over every other weekend, and she came over last night, which was she just wanted to come over. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But it sucks that on my way to Chicago, or I'm going to go speak in New York, or my whole goal is that I just want to tell the story that we can do different. We can be different. We don't have to be. You don't need a goddamn grant to help people. You know what I mean? And you don't need a funding mechanism. You don't have to create a policy. We have all those things, and my team's doing it, but we need something more. We need not a new Jesus. We just need we need that guy. I'm not that guy, but if I find that guy, I'll tell you about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
That's good.
Awesome. Any last words from you guys? Final questions? None of that good?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Tell us about the big guy story that came into the office. I think you posted about him recently too. Some really big guy came into the office and answered the phone or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting one.
I love telling those stories. So my housing director was at the office, and he calls me, and he's like, are you at the office? And I was like, no, I'm at home. He was like, I think someone was just in your office. And I was like, okay. And then he walks around. He's like, oh my God, someone's in the office. And it was 7:00 at night. Doors are locked.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I'm on my way. I jumped in my truck, headed there, drove way too fast, but get there, walk in, and Derek is, in his office, kind of shook. Right. And I was like, well, let's go look, man. So I'm walking around the office, so go in every office and donation room, check the front door. Nobody's there. And so then we check the camera. Holy shit. Derek is walking around the office and just missing the guy by seconds.
Oh,
that's
Right.
creepy.
And it's so wild watching it on the camera. You know what I mean? Because it's dark. He's answering the phone. The phone rang, and this guy who and so I think what happened is when they locked the door, they didn't pull it shut.
yeah.
And so the guy came into the office thinking that he was going to get services or whatever. Nobody's there except for Derek, who's behind a locked door on the other side of the building. And phone rings. He answers the phone. He's like, hello, and then he's checking the front desk for whatever he was looking for. And so the guy's gone. We watched him on the camera leave. And so we went, everybody left, and I went to the gas station. I'm sitting at the gas station, And there's a guy standing outside the gas station, kind of by the corner, like he was like holding a sign, but I don't know if he was holding a sign or not. And it's the guy. And I was like, that's crazy. So I called Della and I'm like, Della, the guy's right here. And she's like, oh my God, he probably needs something to eat. And, I was like, you're probably right. So I drive over to him and I'm like, hey, he's like, what's up? I was like, you hungry? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, jump in, I'll take you somewhere to eat. And I was like, where do you want to eat? He was like, anywhere but gas station food, please. And I was like, dude, you can choose whatever you want, man. I'll take you there right now. And he's like, I don't know, I'm not from here. And so I took him to Qdoba, got him a big old burrito. And then, he's from out of town. He'd been staying at the shelters and just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? He's just trying to find a new place to go, wants to start over. And I was like, well, let's go to my office and I'll get you some clothes. And he's like, all right, cool. So I brought him back to the office. And as soon as we walked up to the door, he like looks around because he knows that he was just there. But I have not revealed to him that I know it's him. We go in, get him some winter gear, some gloves, some boots, pants, like one of those thermal jackets, the whole, works, give it to him. And then I drop him off at a place that he said he could stay at. But the face that he made when we showed up at F5 was priceless, man.
Oh, that's
so
good
I've
stuff.
seen him, I'm glad you brought it up because he's been at the office a couple times. And comes in and gets a cup of coffee and just hangs out.
Cool,
It's
man.
awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There's a woman, there's a tent in the back of our office right now where someone has been staying. Like there's like a little nook in the back of our office. It's perfect. Blocks wind from all directions. And I walked up and it's like a whole ass like setup, like a tent and bed and like a cardboard box to like set their stuff on and stuff. And when I first saw it, I was just like, I don't know if that's legal. And then I just walked to my office. And then when I left, the lady was there and she was like, hey, I'll get all my stuff out of here soon. And I was like, no, you're good. And she's like, what? And I was like, you're good. It doesn't bother me. And I was like, do you need anything? And she's like, no, I'm good. I was like, all right, if you're good, I'm good. And I was like, just take your time, whatever you're going to do. And I thought about it on the way home. I was like, man, I'd rather my parking lot be filled with a tent city. You know what I mean? Than and like that would be cool because we just treat homeless people like trash. You know what I mean? Like someone's holding a sign, they're like, oh, they should get a job. Like the guy's mentally ill. He's had multiple jobs. He keeps getting fired because he doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the guy washing your windshield or something like that. And they're like, oh, that guy should get a real job. I'm like, man, he's an entrepreneur, man. Like he's making money on, probably maybe he even does have a job, does this on the side. Who knows? Yeah. I just don't think that we give people the benefit of the doubt and just let them just like, why are we so obsessed about people who live outside?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we do it for fun. And then someone does it in the city and they're just like, they are a waste to our community. Like you literally do the same thing in Itasca.
Right.
But because you have money and privilege, it's okay.
White privilege. Right, Dion?
Hey, it is what it is.
Dion halfway gets what you're talking about.
Half white, yep.
Okay.
He doesn't. He identifies as white, though.
I identify as an American.
Notice he didn't say human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a reptilian.
Hell yeah, man. Adam, I love your heart, bro. I love, I always say this, that to see where you've come from to where you're at now is awesome. I like your view on the world. It's pretty dope, bro. So keep doing the shit you're doing, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
Everybody else, thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the channel. Tell your friends about us. Don't tell your friends about us. Talk good, talk bad. It doesn't really matter as long as you're talking about us. Peace.